Hi everyone, welcome to Colette's Thermi Kitchen. My name is Colette Matriga. I am a Thermomix consultant here in Australia, and I have a belief that everyone needs one of these guys in their kitchen. So if you don't have one yet and you're thinking of getting one, please reach out. I'd love to support you. And if you don't have one yet and you would love to get one, the most fun way and easiest and probably cheapest way to get one is to join us as a Thermomix consultant. A little bit more about that later. Now today what we're actually doing, I should apologise first, Andrew, shouldn't I? We're about 10 minutes late. Totally got absorbed in something else, and so did Andrew, so apologies everyone. So today we are continuing our January theme of Thermomix staples. Thermomix is just great for making all those things that we use over and over, making sure that we have no preservatives and no additives. In other words, things that we don't want in our food. Now, garlic is something we all probably use a lot. We know it's full of health benefits, and it does have many, many other uses apart from food, but we're focusing on how we make garlic paste today.
Stops vampires.
Stops vampires. I love vampires. I'm actually reading listening to a great podcast today, and if you love listening to that, it's called Underwood and Flinch. I just love it. It's such a good, and the actual speaker, the person reading it, brilliant. Anyhow, let's get back to this. Now, the very first thing that we need to do is a bit of a pain, and that is peeling our garlic. Now, with the Thermomix, I love the fact that it can do most of the work for me. And what I love about having garlic paste in my fridge is that every time I go to cook a meal and it asks for a clove of garlic, I don't have to get the crusher out and stand there fiddling around with a clove of garlic, which always makes a mess and you get garlic in your fingers, etc. I simply go to my garlic paste in my fridge, take a teaspoon and use that instead. Confident in that there's nothing in there apart from garlic, a little bit of oil and a little bit of salt. So first thing we're going to do is to peel our garlic, and because we were absorbed in other things, my prep is not as good as it should be, so I'm just going to tip out some garlic. So you can do as much or as little as you got, so I think I'm just going to do all of this. 6 heads, I've done 6 heads quite comfortably. Now you can't unfortunately just pop it in like that, you do need to do a little bit of work. So I'm using one of my favourite knives at the moment, and this is the bigger of the 2 knives from the mix shop, and initially I didn't use it much, but it is now my go-to knife for just about everything. And what I love is you can scoop things up and pop things in. It's pretty cool. So I'm just going to go in between the cloves and just twist them. Because it's nice and heavy, it's just going to do all that for me. So all I need to do is break these up. If you're strong, and you could probably do this, you could bash them. I'm not strong enough to do that at all. So all I want to do is to get my cloves broken up. Oh, let me just take that out for a second. What I've got in my Thermomix bowl is about 600 mils of just tap water, and I'm going to use this little guy here. This is the peeler, and this peels potatoes, beetroot, all sorts of things, and it's an attachment you can buy from the mix shop, and I just love it for everything from peeling potatoes to all sorts of different things. So I'm literally going to pop that on top of the blade in with that water. So that's on nicely. Give it a little turn just to make sure. And then I can just add in my cloves. So I haven't peeled the cloves, but I have separated the actual bulb. So just get these in. So tell me in the post if you actually make your own garlic paste, and what you think of actually doing that. Okay, get these done. So it's not too hard. If you just give it that initial little break, it's pretty good. Fantastic. So what I do is just go in between a couple of the cloves.
Oh, you're cutting towards your hand.
A little bit twist. It's pretty solid, yeah. I don't think we can do it the other way actually. So you can just see how easy they break up. Excellent. So these ones are going to go in. Who loves a blade peeler? Are you using that for your potatoes? What I love about it is that with potatoes, for example, you can throw your 800 grams of dirty old potatoes into the Thermomix and add your water in with your peeler, and 4 minutes later you've got beautifully peeled potatoes. And the benefit is that it takes off such a fine layer of skin. You're left with much more nutrients. So just about there, everyone. Okay. All right, perfect. So there's my beautiful clothes. Excellent. So let's just tidy up this mess a little bit. Okay. Excellent. Right. So, garlic in. Have a look, Andrew. Alright, so nice and simple, straightforward. Now a little hack when you're using the blade cover, if you're doing potatoes or whatever you're doing, I always add about a teaspoon of oil, any oil, and what I find that does, it will just reduce the foam that's involved in the peeling process, which is a good thing. So all I need to do now is pop that lid back on, and then I'm going to, with my TM6, I'm going to go into my peeler. It's always difficult from this end here. So there you go. I'm going to hit on the peeler. And just a little tip here. So when you hit for the first time on any of the modes in the Thermomix, you're going to get this information screen that tells you exactly what to do with that particular mode. One of the things I get my customers to do is to, let me go back home and go back in again, is to head into that section, and then down here on this side here it says don't show me this screen again. So I'm going to hit that and come out of it. I'm going to go back home. So now when I go into my peeler, or awkward here, into my peeler, you'll see I've gone straight into the activity screen, so I don't have to keep seeing that information screen. However, if you forget, the little eye up here on the top, you can press that at any time and that brings up that information for you. So it's not gone, it's just hidden in the background because you don't want to see that every single time you use it. All right, so all I need to do then is going to go for 4 minutes. So it's going to be a bit loud, and I'm just going to turn the dial and let that do its thing. So maybe Andrew will take up this. It's a bit noisy. What do you reckon? Let's be very Does everybody hear me okay?
Down the road.
Probably not okay, but anyhow, what I want to do is to just, while that's going, just to talk to you a little bit about New Year. New Year brings lots of new opportunities. Please tell me in the text or the post if you can hear me okay above the noise of the Thermomix. It is a bit loud.
We can hear you.
Excellent. So, New Year, new opportunities. Now, I had this opportunity presented to me about 6 years ago, and someone mentioned to me, would you like to be a Thermomix consultant? And initially I thought, no way, there's no way I could do this. But I decided to give it a go. I just retired, and I was kind of looking for something that I would enjoy doing, and I decided that, yeah, why not give this a go? I was pretty nervous. I'd never sold anything in my life, but I did know I loved my Thermomix. I had a Thermomix at the time, and I joined, and I have to say, look where it's taken me. 6 years on, I just love this company. It's so family orientated, and that's why we have so many consultants that work full time and have a family, because it can fit into their lifestyle. So if you are looking for something this year, something maybe to give you a challenge, to help you grow, acquire new skills, something that's going to give you a little bit more pocket money, and whether you've just got 4 or 5 hours a week, or whether you've got 20 hours a week, you can actually set that level yourself. So please consider it. It is a golden opportunity, and you might surprise yourself. If you're not sure, you might want to come on board. Just try it. You can leave at any time, and you will not lose anything. And it's just fabulous. So, you know, sometimes people say these things and you just, oh, no. Just give it a moment of thought. It could be something fabulous for you. And we've got amazing incentives for new people that come on board. Actually mind-blowing incentives. And in fact, you can earn yourself another Thermomix with just a few sales. And I can tell you more about that. This Friday, which is the 19th of January, 7 o'clock, please join me on Zoom to find out more about what is involved, warts and all, but let me tell you about what's involved in being a consultant. It is such a fabulous thing to do. Alright, that's me coming off my soapbox. It's something I'm passionate about, and I have brought into the business probably about 50 people. The majority of those are still here in the business, and they love what they do. Everything from, you know, people who are retired like me, who want to just sell one machine a month, to others that do it as a flexible part-time business. So many opportunities. I'd love for you to think about it and join me this Friday night to find out more. So, this is just nearly finished. Okay, give it a little tap. I need to go home. So, the other thing about being a Thermomix consultant is you become a bit of a Thermomix expert. You use your Thermomix in so many new ways. So let's have a look at what we've actually got. So there we go. So you can see nearly all of these are peeled. Now what I'd like to do is just to fill up this with a lot more water. And I am just going to, what tends to happen is the skin tends to float on top. So you can see here I'm just picking out the skin, and there's a couple of little cloves of garlic that have escaped in here. There's one there that's not quite peeled, but even though it's not quite peeled, look how easily that bit of peel comes off. Fabulous. So I want to just try and get as much skin out of here as I can. This really does make it so much easier. All right, and then what I'm going to do is here, they just slip out of the skins, which is fabulous, is I'm now going in. I don't have to worry about my fingers on the blade because the blade peeler there is protecting my hands from the blade. So I'm just squeezing out any that haven't quite been peeled. There we go, just popping these all down here. The rest of these guys out. Fantastic. So actually I probably have about, I don't know, maybe 3/4 of what I'd normally do, but I just tend to put in there whatever I happen to have. All right. Now, normally what I do is just tip that water out, but just for speed, what I'm actually going to do is to get a clean bowl. So here we go. All I want to do now is just to go through these, just making sure any that aren't peeled, peel off nice and easily. There we go. Andrew loves garlic, don't you? You love a roasted garlic.
Love it.
And are you like me, everyone? When the recipe says put 1 clove of garlic in, you put 3. Okay, so that's all gone in. Now the actual garlic paste itself, we're going to be using a cookie dough recipe. And one of the things is that there are also very similar recipes for ginger, so you can make a ginger paste. And the thing is, it preserves these a lot longer. So your garlic paste, which is what we're making today, will last about 1 to 2 weeks in your fridge. And if you're making this kind of quantity, I'm sure you'll go through that. You can freeze it, absolutely, in little ice cube trays and just take out smaller quantities if you prefer. But there is also a great recipe for a ginger and garlic paste. So what I might do is just, I should actually take the patience to do all these. Shame you can't help me, Andy. There you're done. All right. I'm going to just pretend these are now all done, all perfect. Now what I want to do is just to, that will do. Let's just have this. I just want to give these a quick dry. I'm going to grab a new bowl. And I'm now going to go on to making the garlic paste. So it's a cookie do recipe, which means it's all fully guided, which is great. So I'm going to go into my week, because I put it into my weekly meal plan, hit on garlic paste, up comes the recipe, and this just takes a couple of minutes to make. You've got all your instructions, tips and hints, etc. I recommend you always read the tips and hints because there's some great stuff in there. So I'm just going to press start cooking. So so here it's asking for 6 whole garlic cloves, and I know I've got less than what would be in 6, but that's okay.
Is this peeler available at the mix shop?
Yeah, the peeler is available in the mix shop. If you don't have it already, it's something I would really recommend you get. As well as peeling your fruit, your veggies and all that kind of stuff. Beetroot is great, potatoes fabulous, carrots amazing, all that kind of stuff. It also is great for slow cooking because if you do the slow cooked meatballs in tomato sauce, it sits on top of the blade turns underneath, but your meatballs are gently tossed above the blade so they're not going to get chopped. Great recipe. And it's also fabulous for sous videing. So if you're doing lots of steaks, you can actually do more in the bowl, but you need that to actually do it. So now it's asking for a teaspoon of salt. So I'm going to put a little bit less in because I have a little bit less of my garlic. Okay. And next we're going to put, oh, did I miss the oil? It's usually oil. Salt. Nope. Okay. That's going to go in. And then we hit next. And we just basically follow the recipe around to speed number 7. Next, scrape down. That's the oil. So we're just simply going to, so having a look there. Okay, pretty good. Still a little bit chunky. So we're going to scrape it down. Oh, very garlicky smell in this house. And it wants us to add around about 50 grams of oil. So I'm going to add probably about 30. Clear the scales. I love how the scales...
Oh, that aroma of garlic just hit me.
Vampires won't come to this house. That's fine. Okay, so the garlic's gone in and we're going to pop that lid back on.
Oh, I love this.
And no, you can't eat this directly from the fridge.
No, I need aftershave like this.
Oh no. Okay, and then hitting next. And basically, it says we're ready, but you know, we always just do that little check. Let's have a look. Yeah, perfect. So here is my lovely garlic paste. I'm just going to show you the consistency, and I'm happy with this consistency. But if you want, you can go a little bit finer. You just simply hit the repeat button on the last step. Now, when you're using this, what I'm actually going to do is just pop this into a container.
What oil did you use?
I just use an olive oil, so it doesn't really matter whatever oil you happen to have. It's not important. I'm just going to use your lid as a funnel, just popping this in. And remember, of course, whenever you're using your spatula in your bowl, you must always go in a clockwise position so that it hits the back of your blade. If you go anti-clockwise, your beautiful spatula is going to hit the actual blade itself, which means it's going to be eaten up a little bit. It's going to get chunks taken out of it. Okay, so this will last me quite happily for the week, maybe a little bit longer. I don't think so in this house. Okay, that's all done. Now what I like to do, and I recommend you do this too, is just grab a small teaspoon and just pop that down nice and easily. And the great thing about your Thermi-made garlic paste is that there's no nasties in it. Shop-bought ones often have like your preservatives to make sure they stay longer in the fridge. We don't need to have those in our bodies, thank you. So just popping that in, and then all I do is pop a little bit of olive oil or whatever oil you happen to be using on top, so that it's all covered. So there you go, that means it's going to just help that preservation. Now, an important thing with this is that when you go to use it, so keep it in the fridge, or you can freeze it as I mentioned, but when you go to use it, take it out, use a clean spoon all the time, and if you put a spoon that's got some kind of contamination or other food on it, it's going to spoil your garlic. So a clean spoon, 1 teaspoon equals 1 clove of garlic, okay? And then you put this back in the fridge straight away. Really important, you do not just leave this out on the bench, okay? Remember that. So there you go, super easy to make, super easy to peel heads of garlic. If I was peeling those garlics just without the Thermi, I would still be peeling those garlics and I'd be frustrated. I'd have my hands would be smelly, not a good experience. So super easy to do that and to make your paste. So remember on cookie dough, so top with oil, So remember on cookie dough you've got garlic paste, you've got ginger paste, and you've got garlic and ginger paste. Use whichever the ones are that you think you will use the most as your Thermi staples, but I imagine most people, this one is definitely one to keep. So there you go. My name is Colette Matriga. Thank you so much for hopping in. Apologies for being late. Please remember my Zoom this Friday. Just grab a coffee or a glass of wine. Join me at 7 o'clock Friday night. And I'm going to just share with you what it's like being a Thermomix consultant. And then you can consider whether it's something you might want to do for 2024. Thanks, everybody. Say goodbye, Andrew.
Goodbye, Andrew.
Bye for now, everyone.